All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging deep, literally, into the world of artisanal gold mining in Ghana. It's a complex and, let's be honest, pretty controversial topic. And we're going to be guided by a really fascinating study from the journal Resources Policy that gets right to the heart of the matter. And this is the big question, right? Is this whole gold rush a way out of poverty, or is it just another kind of trap? I mean, for hundreds of thousands of people in rural Ghana, this isn't just some academic debate. It's a real life choice they have to make every single day. A choice that could literally change everything for their families. So yeah, let's dive in and see what's really at stake here.
So get this, 1 million. That's how many people in Ghana are thought to be working directly in what's called artisanal small-scale mining, or ASM for short. And that's not even the whole story. The industry supports the livelihoods of almost 4.5 million more people. We are talking about a huge, huge part of the rural economy. Okay, so to really get what's going on, we have to put ourselves in their shoes. Why on earth would you trade a life of farming for the dangers of mining? Well, as it turns out, it's not a crazy decision. It's actually a pretty calculated risk.
You see, for a lot of families in rural areas, farming has become a total gamble. You've got unpredictable rain, market prices that are all over the place. You just never know if you're going to make your money back. So, what do? You diversify. You look for something else. And that's where ASM comes in. It's not just a job, it's a survival strategy. It's a way to get some quick cash in your pocket to handle emergencies and, maybe, just maybe, actually get ahead. So that leads to the next question. How do we actually measure the real impact of all this? Is it just about who's making more money? Well, this study did something really clever. They created a kind of scorecard for well-being that looks at the whole picture, way beyond just dollars and cents. Instead of just counting money, the researchers looked at 5 key things that basically make up a person's entire well-being. Think of them as the 5 pillars of a good life. First, you've got financial assets. That's your income, your ability to get a loan. Then there's human assets, your health, your skills, your education. Social assets are all about your connections, your family, your community. Physical assets cover the basics, like decent roads and housing. And finally, natural assets. That's access to things like clean water and good land. Now here's where it gets really, really interesting. What happened when they compared the scores for miners and non-miners? And this right here is the absolute heart of the study's findings. It turns out that this kind of mining is a classic double-edged sword. It gives you something incredible with one hand while taking a whole lot away with the others. So the study crunched the numbers in a really careful way to make sure it was a fair comparison. And what they found was a massive trade-off. On the one hand, getting into mining gives your financial situation a huge boost. That's the good news. But the bad news? It had a negative impact on everything else. And I mean everything else. Human, natural, physical, and social assets all took a hit. Okay, let's look at the actual numbers because they are just staggering. For miners, financial assets shoot up by 54%. I mean, that is life-changing money for a lot of people. But look at the cost. Natural assets, we're talking clean water, farmable land, they drop by 82%. And physical assets, community infrastructure like roads and buildings, a jaw-dropping 94% decline. It's a huge financial gain, but it's paid for with a truly devastating loss everywhere else. But what does that even mean, a negative score? What does an 82% drop in natural assets actually look like in real life? Because these aren't just numbers on a chart, right? They represent real, tangible changes happening to people and their communities. Well, it really depends on who you talk to. If you're in a mining community, almost 3/4 of the people will tell you this mining is good or very good. I mean, they're the ones seeing that cash firsthand. But if you go to the neighboring towns, the story completely flips. Nearly 60% of people there say it's bad or very bad. They're the ones dealing with all the spillover, the polluted water, the crime, kids dropping out of school to go work in the mines. And this quote, this really brings it home. It's from a 43-year-old farmer, and it just puts a human face on that whole 82% decline. He's talking about the Galamseyers, which is the local name for these miners. For him and his family, this isn't some abstract number. The polluted river, the destroyed farmland, that's their reality. It's a daily, helpless struggle. So what's the solution here? Is it even possible to get the economic benefits of mining without destroying everything else? Can Ghana have its gold and also protect its people and its environment? Well, the study doesn't just point out the problem. It actually suggests a path forward.
So, what would a better future look like? Well, first off, just banning it isn't the answer. That usually just drives everything underground and makes things worse. The key seems to be smart regulation. That means making it easier and cheaper for miners to operate legally. It means getting the communities involved, giving them a say and a stake in what happens. It means actually enforcing green mining rules, like reclaiming the land after you're done. And, this is a big one, making farming a good, stable option again, so people don't feel like mining is their only choice. So really, the main takeaway here is all about balance. This isn't about choosing a winner, mining versus farming. The real goal is to build a system where both can actually work together, where you can get the economic boost from mining without paying such a terrible price. And that, right there, is the ultimate challenge. No one's denying the money from mining is real. It's immediate, and for so many families living in poverty, it's a lifeline. But what this study makes incredibly clear is that without a whole new way of doing things, the long-term damage to Ghana's people, to its environment, to the very fabric of its communities, that damage could be irreversible. So the big question we're left with is, can policy actually be smart enough and fast enough to turn this destructive trade-off into a real partnership?